Blackberries, nutritious, delicious, easy to grow, and perfect for those cobblers and that ice cream as well. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a trellis for blackberries, how to plant blackberries, how to prune blackberries, how to fertilize blackberries, and so much more. Hi, I'm Dr. Tom Warren, and you're watching The Plant Doctor. Let's get started. So one of the first things you want to look at when selecting a site for blackberry production is the amount of sun that a certain area is going to get. You want full sun. The more sun you have, the more berry production you're going to get. And that's what we have here behind me. We're actually undergoing a big renovation here. We took out a fence already, and I'm going to use these old fence posts to create a blackberry trellis. And I will show you how to make a trellis here in a minute, but I just want to show you the sun comes up this way, it comes over my back and sets here. I'm getting 12 plus hours of sun during the summertime in this location. Also, you want to check your soil types. If you have a gray anaerobic soil, blackberries do not like to have really wet feet. They can tolerate some wetness, but if you have gray soils, meaning the soil is anaerobic, they're not going to do well. So check your soil, check your sunlight, and that is the ideal spot. You want 12 plus hours of sunlight, and then you want a loamy soil as well. You don't necessarily need to put blackberries on a trellis, but it makes life so much easier once you go to pruning and to harvesting your blackberries. Blackberries will tend to just mound on top of themselves, and if you're growing a variety that has thorns, that is just a bad situation. You're wearing gloves to try to get your blackberries, but if you grow them on a trellis, we can eliminate a lot of that. Also, I found when I pick wild blackberries, there's always snakes in and around the blackberries, and if we get those blackberries up off the ground on a trellis, we're going to eliminate that as well. So there's several benefits to growing on a trellis, and when you grow on a trellis, you want to put your trellis at least 12 to 15 feet. And my particular trellis that we're doing today, it's not even necessarily in a straight line. So this is an old fence post. There was a panel here. We took out a panel on this side, and we actually had to move this post a little bit. So we dug down about 24 inches, and we backfilled with some concrete. We took a bubble level, we got this level. We also cross-referenced the top of these posts. I believe we were at like 69¼ inches tall on that post, so we went 69¼ on this post as well. And we're going to run a series of wires between these posts. We're going to put our blackberry here in the middle, and some of the canes will grow off to my right, and some of them will grow off to my left. So we're kind of making almost like a blackberry wall, if you will, right here, where this area will kind of be shaded in behind it. But I think it'll look real attractive once it's in. So in order to build a trellis, we've already talked about the length needed to be roughly 12 to 15 feet. But the materials you're going to need to do this, on this particular build, I have 3 4x4 posts, and you can get like an 8-foot tall 4x4 post, and that'll give you plenty of height. So you have your 3 posts. You're going to need 2, 4, 6, 8 eye bolts, and so there'll be an eye bolt at 2 foot down on this post, and there'll be another eye bolt roughly at 5 foot. And so each one of these posts are going to receive that, and we are going to run a galvanized wire from one eye bolt to the other eye bolt. So we're going to connect the post with galvanized wire at 2 feet, galvanized wire at 5 feet, same over here on this side as well, and that'll be what our blackberries grow on. And to hold the galvanized wire in place, we're going to use some wire clamps as well. So we're going to run our wire through the eye bolt, pull it tight, put the wire clamp it down, and that is going to hold our blackberries in place. And that galvanized wire is not going to bend or flex when it has a lot of weight on it here in a couple of years. with the blackberry. I went ahead and got a vinyl coated wire. My thought process on that is that as the blackberries are growing along the wire, I didn't want the wind rubbing the branches against that galvanized wire, making nicks in the bark and just places for infection to get into the blackberry bush. And I thought, well, maybe the vinyl coating on the galvanized wire will help with some of that. The vinyl coating's not 100% necessary. That's just me thinking that might be a precautionary step to help our blackberries be a little bit more healthy. So we've lucked out here in the fact that the panels that we're holding the fence in before have already pre-drilled our holes for us. But if you have posts that are not drilled, have holes in them already, measure up roughly 2.5 feet off from the ground. And we're going to put our eyelet in right now, our eye bolt. And just a little pro trick that I've learned over the years, anytime you're trying to put in an eye bolt, it's instead of screwing these in by hand, if you've got like a hook like that, you can put in your drill, you can put your eye bolt in there, and it'll actually grab the eye bolt and as you can see, it'll put it in for us. Just a little hack to save you from having to do it by hand. So now that our trellis is set up, it's time to talk about planting our blackberry. We went ahead and put in a little bit of pine straw underneath here in between shots just to spruce up the area a little bit, incorporate it with the bed that's already existing. But this is our blackberry that we're going to be planting, and this cultivar or variety is Arapaho. Arapaho is a thornless variety, and this was actually given to me by a friend. They propagated this. So a pro tip for you, a very easy way to propagate blackberries. This right here, this dead branch, was on another Arapaho blackberry. And all they did was take that cane, plant it in the ground, buried the cane in the ground. It rooted, this new shoot came up. They cut this away from the parent plant. This dies back, but we have a brand new Arapaho blackberry. That's the easiest way to propagate a blackberry. It's 100% take rate. If you give it time, it's going to root. But let's go ahead, let's plant this blackberry. So I'm going to plant it on the corner right here. And what we're going to do as it grows, we're going to train it along this post and also along these guide wires that we installed earlier. I will not be getting any blackberries off of this plant this year. The reason being is blackberries are what we call biennial, meaning they're going to fruit on 2-year-old wood. This wood right here is 1 year old. All it's going to do is grow. There'll probably be several more canes pop up throughout the spring and summer as we progress through the season, and we'll just train those along our trellis here. Next year, these canes will be 2 years old. They will fruit. After they fruit, they will go dormant and they'll die. So we'll want to remove those. When you prune blackberries, after the cane fruits, it's going to die anyway, so you can just go ahead and cut that back. But you're going to get new canes from the rootstock, and as those new canes come on, you'll just continue to train those canes onto the trellis. So the first year you plant, I do not want you to get discouraged if you don't get blackberries. That's normal. Don't worry about it. Remember, they're biennial. Bi meaning 2, it's going to fruit on 2-year-old wood. So we went ahead and dug our hole for a blackberry bush, and now it's time to plant it. You want to have your hole the same depth as the depth of the root ball that's in the pot. So this one's roughly 6 inches, so we dug a hole that's about 6 inches, and our hole is about twice as wide as the diameter of the pot. So the diameter here is roughly 6 inches, so the diameter of our hole is roughly 1 foot. And when you take plants out of a pot, I want you to kind of turn them upside down and slowly work them out. Never take the vegetation and just pull, because you can break the roots away from the vegetation, and that's something we do not want to do. So turn it up on its end and gently work it out. And this one's not quite rooted all the way to the pot, so I'm going to hold it underneath, and we're going to place it right next to this post. And as it continues to grow, as it goes up this way, we'll take horticulture tape and we'll just wrap it around and train it to this post. And as we get new canes, we'll run a cane down this cable, we'll run a cane down the other cable, and as it continues to grow, we'll train canes at the top cables as well. Now, all we want to do is backfill, making sure that we do not cover the top of the root ball. Remember, all plants take in oxygen through their roots. We always think about gas exchange through the leaf material, but plants do need oxygen through the roots. So if we pile up a bunch of soil on top of the root, that gas exchange is not going to take place. Once we are successful with planting our blackberry, we need to talk about how to care for our blackberry. So it's a little late in the season to be using an organic fertilizer. I prefer organic fertilizers. They work with the soil microbes, the bacteria, to provide nutrients for the plant. But we need to apply those early spring, and we're mid to late spring now in zone 8A in North Alabama here in May. And so the product I'm using is Osmocote. So Osmocote is a slow release fertilizer. This will feed for 6 months. It has all of our macronutrients in it, so nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, but all of those little things that we tend to forget that plants need as well. There's 18 nutrients that plants need in order to survive. So it has trace amounts of copper, manganese, magnesium, all of those elements that the plant needs. And there's a no burn guarantee on Osmocote because it is a very slow release fertilizer. Great product. I'll leave some down in the description below and you can pick it up. In terms of watering our blackberry, the first year you plant your blackberry, you'll want to keep it watered. I'm going to water probably twice a week. So for example, we'll say I'll water on a Monday and then again on like a Thursday or a Friday. If I'm getting a lot of rain, I'm not going to water it off. I'm getting consistent rain, I'm not going to water. After the first year, once it's rooted, the only time I will ever water this blackberry is going to be if I'm in a severe drought situation. Blackberries are native to my area. I have very long, hot summers, so the 90-degree temps usually start sometime around mid-May for me, and then they're going to run through October. We have 3, 4, 5 months of every single day close to 90 degrees, 100% humidity. We may have stretches of 3, 4 weeks where it doesn't rain. Blackberries thrive in those conditions. Once established, once those roots are in the ground, they'll be good to go. I hope you find this video helpful with taking care of your blackberries. If you have a tip or trick that you use for your blackberries that we did not go over in this video, please leave those down in the comments below. Here on the channel, we're a community of learners, and I would love to learn something from you, the viewer. It's getting late. You can tell behind me the sun's going down. I'm hungry. I'm going to clean this mess up and I'm going to go have dinner. Guys, as always, thank you for watching The Plant Doctor. Till next time, happy gardening.